Hi there, welcome back to yet another amazing new episode of the Art of Business English podcast. The podcast where we help people like you get the language skills you need for doing business in English. Now, for the next two episodes, we'll be looking at some idioms. And just in case you are not really sure of what an idiom actually is, well, put simply, it is commonly used expression whose meaning does not relate to the literal meaning of its words. Now, this means that idioms can be hard to understand and interpret, and they need to be understood in context. Now, on this week's episode, we're going to review some common idioms with the verb strike. Now, you might come across these in certain business contexts. Now, strike is a power verb, which means basically to hit with force or to hit deliberately. So, understanding these idioms with strike will help you to speak English correctly and naturally, as well as understand your colleagues better, especially your native colleagues. So let's get in there and start learning. So the first one on my list is to go on strike. Now, to go on strike means to start a period when workers refuse to work because of an argument with an employer about working conditions, pay levels, or their job in general. So an example could be all 2,500 employees went on strike in protest at the decision to close the factory. Okay, number two is to strike a happy medium. And this basically means a way of acting or thinking that avoids being extreme and that is acceptable to everyone. So an example would be the company needs to strike a happy medium between investment in new products and saving cash to keep the company liquid in case of economic shocks or any economic shocks. So you want to keep this happy medium between spending money and investing and saving money to ensure that you've got cash when you need it. Okay, the next one is to strike the right tone or chord, and this means to be perfectly suitable for a particular situation or circumstance or to get something exactly right. So an example here is the commercial struck the right chord with its target audience and was one of the most highly rated spots of the year. Or you could say, it's tricky trying to strike the right tone during a job interview when you're trying to sell yourself while remaining relatable. Okay, another one, number three, to strike a balance between. Now, to strike a balance between two things basically means you accept parts of both things in order to satisfy some of the demands of both sides in an argument. So good for negotiating. An example here is, it's a question of striking the right balance between quality and productivity. Okay, so if you want to be productive, you need to work fast. But if you work fast, maybe the quality suffers. So you need to strike this balance between the two. Okay, to strike it lucky. Now, this is awesome if it happens to you. It's when you suddenly have a lot of unexpected luck. So let's have a look at an example. What would you do if you struck it lucky in the national lottery? Okay, another one, to strike out. Now, to strike out is a baseball term, but I'm going to give you the other meaning. To strike out is when you are playing baseball and the pitcher throws you 3 balls, you swing and you miss 3 times. That's a strikeout. However, I'm going to give you another one here today, which is maybe one you don't know. So to strike out can also mean to start doing something new independently of other people. So for example, after working for her father for 10 years, she felt it was time to strike out on her own. All right, another one here for you today is to strike while the iron is hot. So exactly, I mean, if you look at this expression, to strike while the iron is hot, very difficult to understand the meaning just by translating it or interpreting each word. So it actually means to take advantage of an opportunity as soon as it exists, and in such a way that you take advantage quickly of the opportunity in case the opportunity goes away or does not return. So an example here would be, he doesn't often make such offers. I would strike while the iron is hot if I were you. So this person doesn't often make these types of offers. So it's in your interest or in your best interest to take that opportunity now while you can. Okay, another one is to strike up a conversation with someone. Right, so striking up a conversation with someone basically means to begin speaking with someone. And an example here would be, at networking events, you should be ready to strike up a conversation with anyone. That's what the point of networking is. Start talking to people you don't know. All right, to strike off a list. Now, to strike off a list means basically to remove something from a list once it has been completed. An example here would be, the crisis shows that we should strike the Northern gas pipeline off the list of European Commission priorities. So, this crisis has shown to people that they're going to strike it off a list. It's no longer a priority. Okay, another one on my list is to strike a deal or strike a bargain. And this basically means to come to an agreement, which is great if you can strike a deal with someone. So an example here is, some of the biggest creditors to the fund were willing to strike a deal. Or, the union is hoping to strike a bargain with the government. So that is it for me today. I hope you found this episode interesting and useful. Now, as you can see in colloquial language, there are different ways in which a verb such as strike can be used. Since idioms are not easy to learn, my advice to you is to expose yourself to English as much as you can. You should listen to good podcasts like mine from good media organizations, or you can read as broadly as you can and watch films in English. And of course, if you want to expand your knowledge of English idioms for business, then why not enroll in my program, Business Idioms Online Course. Now, this course teaches you idioms from many practical areas of business, such as marketing, production, and finance. So check it out over at the website. You can grab your copy there. Thanks, people, for joining me yet again for another episode, and I'll see you all next week. So take care and bye for now.